בסרט שלי מהיוטיוב שלי, זה כאילו עולה לזה שלך, אבל כאילו אני שלחתי.
מה?
בסרט שאני אעלה כאילו את זה, שאני כתבתי את הטקסט הזה.
כן. Shalom וברכה, בעזרת השם, we're gonna try to learn some very important, it's a very deep concept, a very interesting piece of knowledge. It is Kabbalah, and the source of this script, of those writings. So it is Kabbalah, and it's the wisdom of the Ari Kadosh, the Arizal, that wrote that gave his wisdom to his main student, Rabbi Chaim Vital, and Rabbi Chaim Vital and other students as well that were there with the Ari Kadosh in those days. They brought down to text the wisdom of his holy teachings. So Kabbalah, I gave few classes already that explained, that opened up a little bit of what Kabbalah is all about, and what does it mean to learn Kabbalah, and how really a person should learn Kabbalah, and with which approach and which connection, and also how to see, how to understand the message of the Kabbalah in your life, in your daily, while you live your life, to try to understand that wisdom and to try to see how to use the learning in a practical way, and not only just to memorize those texts or to hold them in your head. It's just to see how really those ideas that you learned reflects in your life, and how really the Creator himself is shining from our life, and with that deep learning of those high and godly concepts, learning Kabbalah, we can see depths in our life. In certain situations, suddenly you can understand that those situations are very, very deep, and they mean a lot, and they're not simple. So this is the text, and I'm just going to show it to you, and I'm posting it. Did we post it only on YouTube or also on Facebook? Okay, so we're posting this text as well now on YouTube, and we're going to try to do it on Facebook, hopefully on Instagram as well, but I'm not sure. But Facebook and YouTube, for sure, we're going to post it in the comments, so you can put your eyes on it while we learn. But anyway, I'm going to explain and translate every verse, every line, every word that is written here. I'm going to try to explain to you how really those things are very meaningful, and you can find them in life. So this article, that piece of knowledge, is called Zivug, and Zivug is pairing or mating. It's the connection between the male and the female. So, like, you have many situations in life that you have that pairing, that you have that connection. It can be between a husband to his wife, and it also can be a connection between a parent to his child, that the parent will be in the aspect of a male that influence and support and give, and the student will be in the aspect, or the child will be in the aspect of a female, that he is receiving, that he is perceiving, that he is accepting the knowledge from his from the male, from his parent. And also it can be you and the Creator, that the Creator, he is in the aspect of the male, that he is giving, and that he's the one who influenced the bounty and answer the prayers, and you will be in the aspect of a female, that you are in certain need, and that you pray for certain things, and that you ask for them, and you are in that aspect of a receiver, someone that's supposed to receive from the male. So it's written, Arba'a minei zivug hem. There are 4 kinds of pairing in the world. Bechol zachar unekeva, between every male and female, shebechol olam ve'olam, in all the worlds, in all aspects of the world, in every world and world, between every male and female, there are 4 kinds of pairing. And those 4 kinds are vehem zivug panim bepanim, and one of them is the connection, the mating, the pairing between the couple face to face, when they're facing each other, or achor be'achor, or back to back, that their backs are facing to each other, they are totally separated, or penei hazachar be'achorei hanekeva, or that the face of the male is behind the female, so he's following her and she's going elsewhere, but he's following her, or penei hanekeva be'achor hazachar, or that the female, she is looking to the back, facing the back of the male, and the male is going somewhere, and the female, she's following him. Ve'aseder ukach, and the order is like that. That's how it is happening, how it's developing. Kitchila, because in the beginning, hem achor be'achor, in the beginning they are back to back. That's the beginning. They don't know each other. They are facing different directions. Shehu garua me'od, and that is very bad. When they don't know each other and everyone is facing elsewhere and everyone is minding his own business. So then it's very bad. But still we need to understand that we just learned that there are 4 kinds of pairing. So they are still a pair. They are still connected. Even though that they are facing the outside and everyone is going in a different direction, and it seems to us like separation, but still this is one of the ways of pairing. That's a mate, that's a combination. And for an example, how we can understand that it's a connection, how they have a connection. For an example, before of the wedding, there is a man and there is a woman. They're about to meet each other, let's say in 5 years from now, and then they're going to start dating, and in 6.5 years they're going to get married. Okay, but now they're still a man and a woman. They're still a pair. They're still like, that's his wife. Maybe she don't know that. Maybe he doesn't know that she's his wife. They don't know each other. They never saw each other, but they are a pair. They are a couple, and they're gonna be a couple. Even now, in that situation that they are both facing the outside and going in different directions. He now wants to do something with his life, and she's now thinking about something else in her life, and they're all going elsewhere. She's going to New York and he's going to the Holy Land of Israel. 2 different directions. But it's only because they are still 5 years away from meeting each other. But in reality, they are a pair. They are one. Now, even though that they are walking away from each other, they are in that aspect of being a pair, of being one. Why? Because the fact that they are now apart from each other, that they are not together, it builds inside of them a vessel yearning them hope to become one, to complete, and to build up their connection and their relationship in that day that will come, that they will reunite. So in those years of separation, that they are both going elsewhere and everyone is going in a different direction, still in that time they are building their relationship. Even if it's based on the poverty of the relationship, even if it's because that they are lack from each other, that's the way that the relationship is building. Let's say that you're about to eat in the evening and now it's only noontime and you're already hungry. That hunger that you feel in those hours are building the meal that will come in 4 or 5 or 6 hours, because that's how you build the vessel. A full cup with liquid is not a cup. It's not a vessel. It cannot contain anything. It's already full. Only when you lack of something, you are able to receive. You're able to take something in. And that is what it makes you complete. The fact that you're empty builds that completion inside of you. That need of yours, that desire of yours is building the vessel for that combination to be complete. So even though that it's very bad, like we said, like that's how you want to see your relationship, that she's facing here and he's facing there. No, it's very bad. We don't want to see that. But it is in building. It is a basic it is a basic stage, and that's actually the foundation of the building. To understand that in another aspect, when a person, let's say he wants to build a house and he has his dream and his vision, he wants to see his house, 3 floors house with a backyard and windows that will be round and with those kinds of gates and whatever, all of his vision, and he brought people to see it and to illustrate and to paint and to plan the structure and the way that it will look in the end, the result. He knows exactly what he wants. He dreams on that house in the nights. Now when he's going and buying the property, he buys a piece of land and he brings the worker, the constructions worker people, and they're coming, and like first thing that they're doing is bringing their machines and start destroying the beautiful land that he just bought. If he will come after 3-4 days of digging into the mountain to put the foundation, he will see like the most horrific sight that he can possibly see with his eyes. Like they just like the beginning of the process is the most far part from the desirable result that he wished to see. And every step of the way in the beginning seems just worse and worse. Like, what are they doing to my land? What are they doing? They're throwing cement, and like they brought so like piles of sand over there, and like stones and iron, and people are throwing garbage all over the place, plastics and beams of wood, and like it's a destruction. Like it seems to him like everything collapsed, but it's in building. So even though that it's very bad, the beginning is very bad, like she's on her way to New York, he's on his way to the Holy Land, they're so separated, they're walking in the opposite directions, it seems very, very bad, but that's the process of building. That's exactly how that it's being built. And after that, achor bepanim. And after that, the back to the face. What does it mean? She'achorei hazachar, that the back of the male is looking to the face of the female. It means the back of the male is looking to the face of the female. So it means that the female, she's looking at his back. First stage is both of them going to different directions. Second stage is that the face of the male is going to one direction and the female are following him. Why? לפי שאין כוח בנקבה לקבל מהארת פניו ממש. Because the female does not have the power in the beginning to receive from his face completely. In the beginning, and of course, like to all the arrogant and silly and stupid men that are in our audience and listen to this class, so when we're saying male, we're not talking about you. Like connect yourself to reality. You're not a male. We're talking about a real man. We're talking about someone that is like really strong and stable and holy, like an aspect of male, not a physical body of a male that is like so pathetic, like can sit and cry like any other woman, like with no connection, and to have self-pity and oh, I don't know what to do and whatever. Like that's not a man. Like that's not the man that we're talking about here. And a man doesn't mean like, oh, a man that is tough and cool and lives in Texas. We're not talking about that as well. We're talking about an aspect of a male. We're talking about a person. We're talking about an individual that is standing in the position that he can help others, that he can support others, that he's in that aspect of a male, that he influences, that he supplies confidence, and he knows how to give the right advice and how to present and influence power and strength, and he's brave and powerful, whatever, like all good qualities that there are in a male. Okay, so it's not some silly person with a beard or whatever. Like we're talking about a real male. So second stage is that the male that is powerful and strong, he's going to the right direction, and the female, she's walking after him. And this is a very natural stage after they meet each other. So usually the female, she's following the male. We know that in reality, most of the couples, most of the relationships are based like that in the beginning, until women starts to receive like brain, sechel, wisdom, and they realized, oh no, like my husband, he doesn't know what to do with our lives. Like I was counting on him, and it was the worst mistake I could ever do in my life. So like, all right, I need to start fixing everything. But women are naive, and in the beginning they like assume, okay, we're moving to the next stage, like, okay, what do you think we should do? And she starts following him. So he's going to a certain direction and she's following him. And she, in her mind, understands that she does not have the power to accept the illumination of his face. So she's following his back. She let him lead. That's the beginning. That's the second stage. She let him lead. Achar kach panim ba'achor. But after that, face to the back means that the female receives the light of the face of the male through her back. So because that she was following him and one drop after the other penetrated and came inside of her. She got a little bit of his wisdom, and then she came to another realization and another understanding. In my life, for an example, I can give a very nice example for that. In the first 10 years of our life, so I was sitting and learning in yeshiva. And my wife, it was okay for her. She like accepted it, and she wanted me to go and learn Torah, whatever, if I wanted to learn, so she was supporting it. And she never spoke about Torah, almost at all. I would come and I would like learn, and I would tell her and tell the kids and sharing and whatever. And if we had friends or people coming over, so I would talk words of Torah, I would quote, I would read from the books, whatever, like all the male habits of talking way too much. But in the last few years, like many changes took place in our lives, and in the last few years I started to hear my wife like also talking many things of Torah and saying things and like deep things, and I asked her, like, you haven't opened books, so many books, and sat and learned whatever, and like, how do you know so much? Like, where you bringing it all the time? Like, another thing you remember, and like she's quoting and bringing and saying no, like, and kids, let's say, are talking about Parashat Shavua, like the weekly portions that we read in the Bible every week, like whatever, and like they're talking and she's fixing them and she's telling him that no, it's like it was like this, it was like that, whatever, and like, and she's bringing midrashim, like suddenly she brings a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdom. And I asked her a few years ago, like, where are you bringing it all from? So she said, you think that because I was not talking, I was not listening? Like, she said for the first 10 years that I was learning and I was talking, and she just listened, and she took more and more and more and more from all of my talks and from all of my conversations and all of my speeches and all of my whatever that I was talking, and she just took another piece and another piece and another piece, and she built herself with that. And she didn't spoke because she didn't felt like, oh right, yeah, I'm gonna talk. No, she was not in that position. She learned and she accepted, and she built her knowledge, and today it's already hers. So you see that in the beginning, the female, she's following the male, she's following her men, because she understands, like, I don't know, I'm not learning, I don't have that power now to sit and to learn whatever, I'm minding my own business, I'm doing my own thing. But with time, another spark and another spark and another spark. There is a story, a fantastic story with a beautiful lesson on a person that was taking out water from the well, and he had a stick, a cane with 2 buckets from both of the sides, and he would fill both of them, and in one of them he had a hole, and there was a small hole in that bucket, and when he would take the water and then he walks to the city and he would sell the water, he would like bring buckets of water to the city, but so he would take two buckets every time, he would fill them, and he would walk, and until he would arrive to the city, he would have only one that is full, and the other one that had a small hole in the bottom would get emptied on the way. And he was always like so upset, like why I don't have like a good bucket, like why do I need to suffer so much, and I'm wasting half of my time, all the effort, whatever. But and that's like what had happened with him. But in one of the days, and like every day he was going with that sorrow, with that pain of loss, of like, every drop that fell like from the bucket, so he felt like I'm losing my money, I'm wasting my time, like, and he was very frustrated from that. But when the spring came, so suddenly he saw that on the side, with the empty bucket, with that dripping bucket, so there was a fantastic line of flowers that were blooming, that were growing and rising and blooming. And suddenly he realized that he was watering with that bucket the dry land of that side all the time. And it gave him a lot of comfort to see that he's not wasting his water, he's not losing his money, he's watering that side of the road. So sometimes you feel like you lose something, but if you will pay attention, you'll understand that you're not losing your water, you're watering something. I drove once with a friend, with a student of mine, and I explained to him something very deep, and I asked him, and like he was kind of frustrated that he wasn't sure that he got everything that I was saying. We drove on the highway from Jersey to New York, from New Jersey to New York. It was 11:30 at night, something like that, and then I told him, now you think that you lost that spark, right? I just like told you something very important, and you feel, oh no, like what did I say? Like I don't, what did you say? What did you mean? What I don't understand? Like you haven't lost anything. You know why? Because that spark that I just handed you, I just gave it to you, and you dropped it. Okay, you dropped that ball. It's just like, okay, it's not with us anymore. You lost it. But you know, behind us, another car just drove, and over there was a man and a woman, and they were arguing, and she just told him something that really hurt his feelings, and he felt very bad with that. But he said to himself, you know what, I'm going to try to listen now. And then when he accepted on himself to listen to what that she just said to him, suddenly that spark came into their car, that ball that you just dropped, and they exactly in that right time, synchronized by heaven, drove in the same path, and he picked that ball. Suddenly, by the merit of his acceptance of the wisdom of his wife, and he decided to work on his attributes and to listen to her voice and to hear what she has to say, suddenly he got some deep, deep wisdom. And you, my friend, that I just tried to give you something and you dropped it, you haven't lost it. You just didn't have the power to accept it for yourself. But you gave it to someone else. You dropped that ball, but someone picked it for you. It's your ball, it's your spark. It's been given by me to you, not to him. And he just carrying it now for you. But with time, you don't know how the Creator supervises on things. But that person will go with his wisdom, with that spark that really belongs to you. And he will do something. And he will roll that ball to another person, and that person will send a text, and that text will become a message on Facebook, and that message on Facebook going to wake up other people in different states, in different lands. And in 4 years, in 5 years, suddenly, when you won't be ready, that spark will come back to you. And then you'll have the vessels and the tools to receive it. So that's what it means, that in the beginning she doesn't have the power to receive from the illumination of the face of the male. Okay, but no harm is done. Because with time, by the merit that she's following him, that she listens to whatever he says, and again, like I said, we're not talking about silly men. We're talking about the aspect of a male. We're talking about a holy person that is able to give something, not some silly person with a mustache. We're talking about someone with wisdom. We're talking about someone with dignity, with good attributes. Someone that is strong and helpful and nice and kind. So after that, panim be'achor, כי הנקבה מקבלת אור פני הזכר דרך אחוריה. The female, she receives the light of the male from the back. כי על ידי זה, and by that, יתעבה האור יותר ותוכל לקבלו. And by that process that she is walking from one step to the other, after one level after the next, the light is getting heavier and thicker and stronger and more stable, and then she's able to receive it. In the beginning, the female, she does not understand what is he talking about. Like what's that idea? I don't get it. Like it's too vague. Like I don't understand. But with time, you hear another thing. And like I said, it's not only a man and a woman. It's you while trying to connect yourself to Hashem. And people are saying this, and you need to do that, and you have to do this, and you have to keep that, and you must do this, and all those things. Like, what do you want? Like in the beginning, it's also blurry. It's also vague. It's also confusing. It's also like weird concepts, weird issues. Like, what do you want from me? In the beginning, it's hard to understand, but in that humble way of learning and continuing and climbing and keep on following the light, you build the vessels to contain it more and more and to receive and perceive it until it becomes your light. Achar כך, and then the next and last stage, panim befanim, face to face. שהנקבה יכולה לקבל הארת הזכר, that the female is able to receive the illumination of the male, מפנים שלו, from his face, בהיות פניה מביטים בפניו ממש. While her face are looking to his face completely. That's the aspect of Moses. So Moses also was in that aspect of female toward Hashem, toward the Creator. That even though that Hashem said, Lo yir'ani adam v'chai, no man can look at my face and stay alive, no one is able. Moses was talking to Hashem face to face. Pel pe adaber bo. Hashem said, testified, mouth to mouth, I was talking to him. Hashem was looking at him and talking to him face to face. So everyone are not able except of him. Why? Because he was following Hashem in darkness, and he was the only one that followed Hashem. No matter what happened, he kept on following Hashem. In the worst hours, with the most humiliating disappointments, in the hardest times, with great obstacles, no matter what he went through, he kept on following Hashem. And by that he built that vessel, that light that was confusing in the beginning, that was vague, that was impossible to understand in the beginning, became heavier and thicker and more solid. And then Moses was able to perceive it and to accept it, and even to speak and to see the face of Hashem, of the Creator, face to face, and to receive from the illumination of the male from his face, while his face is looking to his face as well. So those are all wonderful aspects. The thing to do with that piece of knowledge is V'yadata hayom, you know it today, V'ashevota el levavecha, and you need to bring it deep into your heart. You need to bring it into your heart. You need to bring it deep into your heart. How you do that? By prayer. When you know something and you want to bring it into your heart, so the verse is saying, Ezoi avodah shebalev, which work a person can do with his heart? Zot tefillah, it's prayer. You need to pray for those things. You hear a fantastic class. It will always going to stay a theory unless you're going to take it into your heart. You're going to take that class and you're going to go and pray for that class. You're going to take that wisdom and go to your backyard, to your quiet corner, to your room, and sit alone with the Creator and just talk to Him about that class. Tell Him, Father in heaven, listen. I also want to understand it. Like I want to follow you. I want to understand. Make from the wisdom prayer. You need to make from the Torah that you learn prayers. You need to pray for that. How do you do that? Simply, you just talk in your own language. You go to Hashem, you talk to Hashem like you speak to your best friend. And you just tell Him, listen, Father in heaven, today I learned that there are stages. I learned that there are stages that in the beginning it looks like we're apart. It looks like I'm going to one direction and you want different things, and like it seems like we're going on separate ways. But I just learned that it is an aspect of our connection. Even though that in the beginning it seems like we're going in different directions, really my heart is toward you and I want to follow you. Even though I don't know how to do it and I'm facing other directions, I probably still don't have the vessels for that. So I'm just going to keep on yearning. I learned in that class that when you yearn and when you desire, so you build a vessel for that bounty to come. So give me the strength to continue and to hold on in my desire and in my holy will. So in that right time, I will connect myself to you. And then I learned that there is a second stage, and the second stage is that I need to follow you. So I need to follow you because I don't have the power to accept your face to face. So if I see that I'm following you and you're turning away your face from me, please help me not to be insulted, not to be hurt by that. Just to keep on following you like Moses till the end of time. And that's how you talk about those things, and you explain the wisdom that you learned to Hashem, and you ask for His help and for His support. Please help me, please assist me. And if you learn that for Avodat Hashem, you can pray for Avodat Hashem. And if you learned that class and you understood things between you to your wife, between you to your husband, so pray for that. Please Hashem, help us that we will have the patience to wait for each other. Whatever you got, whatever illuminate and shine in your mind and gave you a certain understanding while you learned that class, while you heard that class, talk about that with the Creator. And those prayers are the vessels to contain the bounty, because the prayers are vessels, and when you ask a certain request, by that the bounty can come into your vessels that you created. If one person is praying for money, the simple light of the Creator will dress itself into those prayers and he will have money. Someone else is praying for his shidduch, for his soulmate to come, and he's putting different words. One is saying, please Hashem, give me money, give me parnasa. Another person is saying, please Hashem, I want to find my wife. Hashem, I want to find my husband. So those letters, those words are different vessels. They're shaped differently. And by that, the light that will come down into those shapes, into those vessels, will take a different shape, will bring a different result. And it depends in your prayer. So whatever you need to ask. And when you ask, you need to ask in the most honest and simple way that you're able to. And just to put the words in the right spot, words of truth that will express your real will and your honest desire, and they will be the vessels to contain the light of heaven. And don't forget to pray for the rest of our people, for all of Am Israel, for all the nation of Israel. And remember that the nation of Israel is not only the Jewish nation, is not only the Jewish people, not only the Yehudim. The Jewish guys are Am Israel. Am Israel is built from 12 holy tribes, and the Jewish nation is 1 or 2 tribes. That's who they are. Few Levites and few from different tribes. Tribe of Binyamin, that was a tiny tribe in those days. They joined the nation, the tribe of Judah, and they became the people we know as of today as Yehudim. But you have another 10 tribes that are lost in the exile, and they're not less important than the Jews and the Jewish people. They're not. They're similar to us, and they're exactly like us. And they're wonderful, and they're magnificent, and they're beautiful, and they're precious, and they're important in the eyes of our Father, exactly like we are, exactly like the Jewish people. And if let's say there was a father, and that father stayed with in his farm, in his house, and all the children went out from that farm, went out from that village, and only one son stayed with his father. So everyone will recognize that son as the one to inherit and to receive the to contain the legacy and the tradition of the father. And even that son himself can fall to that mistake, to think that he's the only one that left. But when the children will come back, so thank you, amazing, you kept everything, bless you. You have a huge merit for being there and protecting and doing an amazing job. Like, no one is disrespecting of what Jewish people did for Hashem, with no doubt. Like, it's amazing. Like, they kept the flame, the torch, and they sacrificed themselves, and they dedicated their lives, and they learned Torah, and they were willing to die for the sake of the Torah. Like, whoa, big time admiration and honor and respect, like, with all my heart. But there are more brothers in that family. So with all due respect to the Jewish people, there are other 10 tribes that might be stronger, that might be larger, that might be greater in so many aspects, that are coming back. And Jewish people need to learn how to embrace and how to hug all those ones who wants to convert, and all those ones who wants to join, and all those ones that doesn't know and doesn't remember who they are, but their souls are souls that made out of holy fire, that came out to the world from Jacob and his 4 wives, holy wives. Holy tribes of Israel, we love you, and we care about you, and we're praying for you, and we're waiting for you to come, and we're not rejecting you. And if you feel rejected, so like I said before, don't let it break your spirit. Keep on pushing forward, and don't back off, and don't give up. You are who you are, and you're the children of Jacob and his 4 wives. He was married to Jacob, Yaakov Avinu. He was married to Rachel Leah, and also to Bilhah and Zilpah. He had 4 wives, 4 women in his life, and he had many children. And those children, they had many children themselves. Those are the grandchildren of Jacob. All of them are the nation of Israel, all of them. And also the children of Moses. All the children of Moses stayed outside of the camp of Israel. They stayed with Jethro, the father-in-law of Moses. And they stayed with Jethro and their mother Tzipporah, the wife of Moses. And they never went into the Holy Land of Israel, and they been left outside, out of the camp. And they need to come back. You know what will happen when the children of Moses will come back? Like, you know who you're talking about? And it might be an African person that lives in Africa, in Zimbabwe. It might be today that he will be a Muslim that lives in Tangier. It might be a Sweden person from Sweden. It can be a Russian guy from Russia. Like, it can be someone in Singapore. Like, it can be some old guy in Thailand. It can be like a huge tribe in behind the mountains of darkness. Like, you don't know who they are. They went for like 3,000 years. They're walking. They don't remember who they are. But when the real spirit of Mashiach will come, it will blow away all the darkness and all the sadness and all the negativity. And suddenly, in that moment of redemption, of awakeness, everyone will recognize their true selves. Everyone will know who they really are. and suddenly you're gonna understand who you are, and you won't be ashamed anymore. You're just like gonna say like, hi, it's me, I came back. How are you? What's going on? Where's my house? And it's yours, and no one will argue with you. It's your house. That's it. Be strong, believe in yourselves, and don't let the darkness reject you. If darkness rejects you, so it means that you're not worthy. If you want to be worthy, you need not to let no kind of darkness reject you, no matter what, no matter which humiliations and insultings and difficulties you go through. If you would know 1% of what my dear wife and I are going through every day, like, if you love us, so you would probably freaked out completely. If you would know how much suffering we're going through, and how much terror, and how much pressure, and how much pain, like, those are amazing, crazy amounts of grief and pain and fear and pressure that we're going through. And it's only for one reason, because we took upon ourselves not to let no one left behind, and we're just like following up with everyone that are behind. So we decreed on ourselves darkness. We decreed on ourselves to seek for faith, and faith is in the nights. So we're always at night. We're always in darkness, because that's where the diamonds are. That's where the precious people are. That's where the lost souls are. So we're decreeing on ourselves all the time to stay with you guys, no matter where you are. And we're swallowing that darkness. We own a house in Jerusalem, in an Orthodox area, our own house, 150 meter square house, a nice house. We could live there comfortably, like whatever. We chose not to. We could buy another house in the Holy Land of Israel. We could sell that house and buy another property. We could be close to our families in Israel. We could do many things if we would want. But we choose to stick to you guys, and to be here with you in the exile, no matter what goes on, no matter what we're going through, no matter which, like, whatever we're going through on daily basis, and all the time thinking how else to improve our ways, and how to find way to assist another person and another family and we're helping everyone, helping every single one, with no connection to his religion and to his nation. That's nonsense for us. We don't look at those things. The color of your skin, the accent, like where your family came from, like that's your story. Like whatever, we love you, we care about you, as long as you're polite, as long as you are nice, as long as you are honorable, as long as you desire the truth, and you don't like crazy person that looks for honor and like whatever to make a mess. So like, we're together, we're doing the best we can for everyone. May Hashem bless you, may Hashem bless us, may Hashem answer all of our prayers and all of our requests, and may we see the redemption day in our lives with healthy eyes, with a happy heart and a wishing soul. Ba'agala ubizman karib v'nomar amen. Thank you guys, thank you so much. Help us support our project, donate links all over social media outlets, help us, and may Hashem support our work always. Amen.